Good morning. This is Tuesday, 17th of March. Brief recap of what happened. So we are now 9 a.m. and the DAX is now open. I have not taken an 8 a.m. trade. I wasn't there at the desk. Wouldn't have been much of a trade either. I mean, we could have made, 27 pips. That was something. The low was at 23,419. Yesterday was a chop day with heavy losses again. And have we taken a look at the Heikanashi? In fact, the recent days, it seems to be indicating pretty well on the reversals. That reversed here, also a clear reversal, right where I placed the buy order. So that was interesting to see. Overall, the VIX is slowly creeping down. Our emissions trade, however, is about to be stopped out, which is unfortunate. And I bet the moment it stops, it's in reverse, but it has punched through this support quite heavily. I'm willing to give it any more loss. We might consider going back in if it reverses up above this level here. So it is what it is. This is acting up recently. So on the DAX, we have the first 5-minute open. The candle seems to be, or the movement seems to be rather muted. So far, 2 minutes. The range hasn't been very big. Was it? That's a 37 pip movement. We may be in for another day of range-bound trading, which obviously generates losses when you look at it. From our strategy perspective. One thing to point out that you may notice is that we have started this upwards, slowly creeping. I mean, the base of this range is slowly creeping upwards, but there are some, if you put the point below and the low of this beginning of the range and the recent low, there were some spillovers here. If you look at it from this perspective, which I think is more fair, and we haven't reached the bottom yet. So I would perhaps expect some movement to the downside. If not in the beginning, then in the later part of the day. For now, the price is stuck between the almost flat 500 moving average, view up, and 50 moving average. We will take a trade the moment it breaks out. We have 40 seconds left. Yesterday, I took some trades in the NASDAQ. I was stopped out in here, but I re-entered after this spike. So this spike would be an indicator, and its denial was a strong indication that the market was going to move lower. It did. I'll remove the limit orders now that are here and secure this by stop loss about 75 pips in profit here. And we have a couple of seconds left, and we have a next candle. So we go buy stop above the range, and we go sell stop below the range. Now the 5-minute candle is very small here, so our stop loss will be only as long as the candle. I don't like to hedge, and having two positions open at the same time, that rarely ever works out, and I'm not skilled enough to actually manage this like that. So I'll remove it, and Let's see what's going on in the world. Okay, we're entering long. We have broken above the 5-minute range. That's a triple top here. Oh, that's flat as hell. Oof. Hope we break through. Hmm. The sentiment in the market is rather bearish, it seems. Um, that looks like a bear flag, a huge bear flag indeed. So we might expect a swing to the downside. Targeting levels here, somewhere around here, right? So let's say 23,376. That will give us about 100 pips of space, not a lot. But then we'll see what happens afterwards. Of course, we might expect an upward move, it would be ideal, and then downward. There seems to be a clear line here as well. Looking at the 15-minute chart, you would be able to draw a line uh, slightly matching the price action. This is more or less an approximation of all these. ups and downs. So we're talking one below, one above, one at the place. So we're having a narrowing range. There we go. First fake out for the day. That is quite aggressive. I will not add here. The triple top is very visible on the 5-minute chart. It is even visible on a 15-minute chart. So see what happens. In terms of calendar, not much happening today on Tuesday. Oil reserves, that will impact the oil market in the evening, but it's API, right? Yeah, okay, API. So tomorrow is the oil inventory and gasoline. That will be important for the oil price, and as a result, will also be important for the markets. The oil price has stabilized around $100 a barrel level, so it doesn't seem to be that driving the prices anymore that much. We're about to move lower. we have just come within a pip of our sell stop and stop loss, and have retraced from there. So it's a choppy opening. I can't believe, wow, this was close. For all intents and purposes, I should actually close the trade right now because that was it. It should have been filled in here. My pending order, but there we go. My sell limit, sorry, sell stop. I need to remove the sell limit, by the way. The sell limit is at 23,481, whereas the low of the candle was 23,01.3. We were within 1/10 of a pip of a stop loss. That is incredible. And the market has moved up. Shit. Oh man, it is recorded. That's good. It's recorded. I mean, you need to take this into account as well, right? Had the margin extended a bit, even marginally more margin, I would have been already stopped out and in the long position, which have already been stopped out as well. Or in a short position, which would have been stopped out. But now we have a quadruple top, but slightly edging lower. So not good. I haven't. That's unusual. That is unusual. The volume is rather low. We don't know what's gonna happen. No clear messages from the market or from the war. Things are stagnating. So my guess is whatever we're going to do in the beginning, we're gonna fade it, that move, and there's not going to be much of a move today. If I say this, then it probably means that we are bound for something bigger. We could be bound for this breakout here because we have this line that's being attacked and again. From the bottom, there is no clear structure here, but we do have this support zone, which is held remarkably. So it's probably gonna be quite tight today until we find a way to break out or just continue sideways. This huge support here, which was there, that's also important, right? Maybe this is more visible on the daily chart. That has been a long-standing support. And there have been some spillovers and massive ones as well, but they always returned. So now we are in a situation where we are below the super line, super trend. The question is, does the market have enough force to go up? Maybe it does. Okay. I'm tempted to, what was that? Emissions. Okay, we're out of the emissions trade. Ouch. Well, it finally had to happen. And hurt. That hurt. I'm tempted to get out of the long trade here because of the quadruple top and the wicks up top. I mean, this is clearly rejecting here. That isn't the strategy, so I hold. Some would call it a barcode action, up, down, tight range. Fortunately enough, we haven't been super stopped out so far. So we weren't chopped up. The wicks are above the opening range. It seems to me like it's accumulating liquidity from above the opening range here. And then it's going to drop lower. That's what I see. Unless, of course, there's enough force to push us through this area, but I don't see the order ladder, so it's hard to say. Even if I go into the market analysis, sorry, market watch, go to DAX, which seems to be more buy orders and sell orders. How is this 3 pivots 0.01? See, this should be fixed, so then we would be able to verify what's the depth of the market. But it seems like the sell has more immediate orders. Mm. Wiki. That hurt. That hurt. Let's take a look at the emissions. They go back up here. We'll be looking again. Gold is building a bear flag. Bitcoin has moved up yesterday. Now is retracing slightly. So gold is moving slightly higher, as are the markets. Still correlated. The Heikin-Ashi on the 15-minute shows these candles as green, although they're really not. Well, at least, hopefully this is a charging moment. So the liquidity is building up for a breakout. It might be a good sign for us. Going up and down, up and down. Um, Not much to say, really. We'll buy the index here. See if I can capitalize on these micro moves, but it seems to me like it's going to now reverse and go down. Just because I bought, that's probably a good indication that you shouldn't. And brace for a move lower. I'm technically in a double risk position right now, but the stop loss here is super short. My oh my. The buy opportunity was much better. Uh, I'm still somewhat in green on the second position. See if it makes the target. Now I'm wondering if I should increase my short position. I have now swapped, and we're still in a short position, it seems. That's zero. No, yeah, still in the one long that didn't pop out. Man, this is really disturbing. Those the market inching one pip at a time. Super annoying. Still in the one long. So we're technically hedged right now. And back into the range. If we get to take profit here, I would be looking to sell somewhere here. If I stop loss above these highs. We're in a net zero trade. Oh, I missed something. If I do this, my stop loss will be punched as well. I would probably want to move it to 60 pips full risk. So then we go beyond these levels here. Yeah, that makes more sense. Okay. We're about to take profit on this one. I have manually closed it. Just to recap some loss. That's half a risk unit successfully hedged by chance, but, but that's what was the intention. Now let's see what this does if it goes back down. It is starting to climb back up slightly. The Nasdaq short trade is doing well. I would maybe secure some profit here above the VWAP at one around 50 pips, something like that. Let's see how low it goes. Yeah, this looks like a rejection, but then again, also a bull flag, right? Because it's on an up movement and retracement. But that here is a very strong supply, supply zone. Seems to me this was very strict and very tight. In fact, if you look at the 5-minute chart, um, you could say that we had this zone here. That makes it pretty formidable zone right now. That is a big reversal there. That is also telling. This was a liquidity grab here. I don't know what this was. Let's see what happens here. This is quite a oof, quite a bar. Coming back strongly. already has 40, almost 50 pips, spanning almost the entire range and engulfing. If it finishes like that, well, we're in trouble. And we need to be prepared to go long here, whereas right now we're poised short significantly. I should be going long in here, and I need to um, just to know about it. I'm thinking I might be prepared to go along in here. I know this is some way away, so I need to extend my risk here to full risk. And I'm accepting an entry which is a good 15 points worse than I would normally have. But it has been breached so many times that I don't want to risk it anymore. So I decided to move my buy stop above this zone here, hoping that the supply zone will hold and therefore act as a strong resistance, which it has so far so many times. The price keeps coming back to it, right? So sooner or later it's going to break. We have entered a second short position instead of our normal buy. Let's see what happens now. Boom. Okay. And that was a poke above the zone. That was clear. Another good morning again. Let's see if this now moves. I will set another buy here, buy limit at the opening of the candle as per our strategy of the retest of the opening range break, which would then give us a position as if we added on top of this. And I will be looking to add quite aggressively if we clear this area here. That was an accumulation. Someone was selling here, dumped the market over here, but what? The volume is rather low, but it is above 1,000, so it is legitimate. And we have halted. That was too clear, right? Too beautiful. Too clear, too nicely set, too obvious. I'm thinking, all right, I need to set the range here as a sell stop again below the range. And so the stop loss will be here. I don't like how it stopped. It stalled. The VIX. VIX is holding steady. Always holding steady. Emissions are dropping. So the industry is in trouble. We're entering the last 15 minutes of the morning stream. I will then be looking to eat something. So if we don't reach any conclusion by 10 a.m., I will step away, let this play out, see what happens. If we come back to this range here, that would be a bummer. But if we then go back down, um, and again back up, then I stop trading from there. What I'll do is set the alerts here for an add-on. I want to know when it approaches the zone. So it's going to go ping, 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 ping. And I'll know I have to start adding. So that return to the major support here would be actually quite nice, because that would mean that we break out of this downtrend channel. Had we just returned to the support, that's 500 pips. But that's major up, and we had those moves like that, right? We had those days bouncing off of this area here. Well, not exactly, but this has been dipping in. So if we shoot up, it could go here, even here. In which case we would have a reverse head and shoulders formation. Not very clean, but yes. So technically that would be very bullish. The only problem, of course, is that the fundamentals don't speak to us because there's no reason to be so optimistic. And we're struggling to go higher even from the breakout zone. I've seen days like that when it chops around, everybody is convinced that it breaks out. It doesn't, it goes back, chops some more and breaks out again, fails again. And then only when everybody is just done and tired and exhausted and out of money, then it breaks out. You're no longer in a position, or worse still, you're betting on these range comebacks, right? This is what the market does. If this is the position, then we will be bound for another fake breakout here, and only then some decisive move. Um, but that is not our strategy. The strategy says we aim for a breakout and we add to it. It's a weird price action. These chopped up movements in one direction, stalling for a long time. Haven't seen this in a while. It's somehow uneasy, making me uneasy. This is not regular price action. Something off. There's something off. Definitely. Worst thing is that we did have opportunity in these markets. I will over the 100 pip move. I need to start making these take profits a bit smaller for 100 pip with 150 on the first position. This was a day that I missed. I'm so sour about it. This wasn't really bad, right? Because you had this replacement here and you again had, well, not 60 points. Perfect. That would be enough. 80. I got out. But even with this, yeah, this one killed us here. That was just choppy as hell. This was a fail. And then another one which wasn't a fail, but somehow it did. And then we move up. And that was a trending day, in fact. From almost like 3/4 of the day. We should have capitalized on that. That was the reversal around 9:30. Right. And then these 50 pip pullbacks. Beautiful. So overall, that was 250 point movement. Okay, we have moved back into the range on DAX, entered the second low. Are we going back in? Oh yes, we're going back in. That fail is quite telling. Move too deep. If we didn't bounce off that view up, we're not. Then it's going down. I am tempted to add to the long at these lower levels here, but I won't, as I'm expecting this will actually punch through it. Oof. A bull risk again. Well, our job right now is to lose as little money as possible. This will not be a green day. That's a high momentum. Yeah. Now this is This is it. Let's see if it actually starts dropping. If it drops nicely, we'll be adding. If not, that's a high momentum bar. I wanted to see how it finishes. If it finishes strong, I'll add. All right, 25 seconds left in this candle, and it stopped. This is where your frustration kicks in. You're saying, okay, this is a range bound trade, so you still have hopes for a breakout. I won't. It's just grabbing liquidity. Which way? I am adding on the return. I'll stop sooner. This one will go above the zone again. I need the alerts here to see how it does. And back into the range. It's clearly taking out, if someone was here setting this range up, playing bounces, I would then, maybe waiting for a breakout that would trigger the stop, trigger that short, then will go back up, trigger the stop losses of these people who were set for a short here in the range, then trigger the breakouts like I was, then come back again, trigger, then go back up. The question is, which way is it gonna go? Oh, there are days when it just can chop around for no reason, no apparent direction. I'm not quite clear about the downward movement though. I was expecting a downward movement some days ago. Today, well, it looks like a long. If you look at it, it's not any here. Doesn't really do anything that much, but it is being it's curved upwards for now at least. Well, I stop. We stick to it. This is the last one. I'm leaving it here. And going to eat my breakfast. I will be back after a while to check on the progress here and see where the trade takes us. But after this breakout, I will fake breakout. I will stop trading. and see how the structure develops. My comeback for the second stream would be probably somewhere around noon. Yes, that's a reasonable timeline.